It's 100% entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And Austin James.
That's the bottom line. Stone.
Welcome, everybody. Good evening. We're live here for Pipebomb Radio tonight. I'm your host, Felix, alongside Austin, and we're ready for another action-packed 1 hour, 2 hour, hell, who knows? We may just go all night. Who knows? How you doing, Austin?
I'm doing phenomenal, and you know as well as I do, the only person that can go all night long in anything is Ric Flair. I mean, he's proved it, right?
Woo! Yeah, I guess he could.
Well, maybe.
Good
Well,
point.
actually, no, I take that back, because being on Ric Flair being, on an hour show with us, I don't know if he can handle it. I mean, I can hardly handle it. Jesus. Depending, I don't know. But tonight's going to be an awesome show, because not only are we going to be having on John Paul LeBlanc, he's been on the show a couple times in the past, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be having on the owner and producer of Elbow Productions. And, I can't even tell you how impressed I am with Michael Elliot. He is not only just an amazing producer, but he has a great mind just for professional wrestling as a whole. Stone Cold Steve Austin on his own show gave a review for the new Rock and Roll Never Dies DVD that you can get on elbowproductions.weebly.com for $25, and it's one of the most amazing sets I have ever feasted my eyes on in such a long time. I mean, it kind of just proves that the WWE isn't the only guy in town when it comes to producing amazing sets for DVDs.
Okay, then. With that introduction, I guess we should just kind of go ahead and take it away, but I know that I believe John is supposed to be calling. John Paul's supposed to be calling here shortly, is that right?
Yeah, he's going to be coming on in just a few minutes. He's going to be calling in to talk about the let's say NWA, the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. Yes, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Is this coming? I think it's like a 4-day event, and it's going to be featuring, hundreds of different talent. From ranging from the Four Horsemen to Ricky Steamboat to Paul Jones. So many guys.
Times like this makes me wish I could live in North Carolina.
Oh, me too. I would die to be there this weekend, but I can't. But he's actually representing as well.
They have so many freaking legends and fan fests and all kinds of stuff on the East Coast. They got nothing over here. I'm disappointed. What's that West Coast? We got to get something over here going. All those legend shows got to get the promoters to get the crap over here because we want it over here too. Well, at least I do. I know a lot of people do too. I'm not the only one.
Well, you actually told me. Remember a year ago or something, you said that you actually lived in Florida before. You should have stayed in Florida.
The weather is kind of what scared me away. I'm not going to lie.
That's the price we pay. We get hurricanes, but in turn we get fan fests filled with so many legends.
Yeah, and I probably could have even attended a TNA show while I was out there. But it is what it is. I came back within about a year. But I actually want to say I have to agree with Bill Apter. He posted a comment in regards to, quote-unquote, TNA's demise around the corner. Until it's official, don't always buy into the hype. I know I always am against it, and I go in and I read it too, but you know what? I have to agree with this point. Unless they make it official, don't believe everything you read. I know it makes me sound like I'm totally what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical, because I'm like everybody else. I read the crap too, but you know what though? I like TNA being around, and for whatever reason, if they're not on Spike, I'm sure they'll find another location somewhere else.
Well, I can tell you this, Eric Bischoff said this numerous times in the past, that any publicity, negative or positive, is good. So it doesn't matter what people are talking about. The only thing that matters is Impact Wrestling in their decision. People can say that Impact Wrestling is going to set on fire, and it's not going to be happening until they make an official statement about it. So whatever, they can keep on talking. All the fans can keep on talking. It's only going to make people know Impact Wrestling and get them more notice than what they are.
Yeah, I can agree with that. At this point, it's funny how everybody's so quick to assume that because of the TV deal, it's going under. You know, like nobody can save it. Like it's a sinking ship. That because Hogan is no longer there, it's going away. Like because Sting's no longer there, it's going away. Kurt Angle is really the only one left. Samoa Joe, you know. But
well, I mean,
you know
even
what?
With Hulk Hogan,
if it needs another network, then so be it. It can happen. And for anything, you know, they could probably find a network that's more visible around the United States than Spike TV is.
Mm-hmm.
Spike TV is not available
maybe
to everybody.
About Ion. Like I was thinking, maybe Ion might take him in or something because Ion isn't affiliated with WWE any longer. I mean, they used to be with Main Event, but then since Main Event's now officially on the network.
Well, there's also the idea of maybe doing the Country Music Channel, CMT.
Oh God, no! I would hate that. That's supposed to be for Global Force, you know. Global Force is supposed to be taking that and taking over that channel.
Oh, really?
I think
hey.
Ion. Yeah, I think Ion's a really good bet for TNA to go on there. I mean, they have I guess, you know, an open show maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Main Event wasn't really on Ion for that long. I mean, maybe a year and a half.
Well, nobody expected to see WWE SmackDown on Sci-Fi. I know, I sure didn't.
Me either.
I enjoyed it when it was still on UPN.
Yeah, they went from UPN to My TV, and then it went to Sci-Fi.
CW?
Yeah, but CW, so then it went to My TV.
Well, whatever, yeah.
It was local.
Same area.
Local channel.
Yeah.
But I mean...
But, yeah, you know what, though? Let's just stay tuned and see how things go. And in the meantime, enjoy the ride for now. And, you know, I will continue to say this. I don't believe one man was responsible for the demise of WCW or TNA. And I've seen the issues regarding people jumping on Russo's back. I don't think he's capable of... He's one man. How is he capable of destroying a company?
No,
I just don't see it.
Well, I mean, it's easy to put blame on somebody else when fingers aren't pointing at yourself, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that...
I'm just saying. I mean, he was...
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying that it's easy to... I'm saying that people easily point blame somebody else when they need to look at the entire picture. It's everything in TNA. People need to get on the same page. You know, I'm quoted with saying that quite often lately.
What I was referring to is Russo having a really big ego way back. But I mean, that was part of his character. He was, you know, he did at one time believe that he was he should have been given the credit for the Attitude Era. But I mean, please.
Well,
one man is responsible for the success or the demise of any company. I just don't see it. I don't agree with it. And to each their own.
This goes back to Jim Cornette and Ring of Honor. He was running Ring of Honor for a couple of years and you know, doing all the booking for the shows. And he stepped down for like a week. Not only stepped down, I mean, he stepped down in front of the fans. The fans, he said Jim Cornette came out, he's like, well, you know, I'm not going to be doing the booking for Ring of Honor anymore. Instead, Nigel McGuinness is going to be the matchmaker. So one night, it was Nigel McGuinness booking the matches, which it really wasn't. It was actually Jim Cornette. But the fans hated on a whole level, like a whole another level, hated Jim Cornette so much. Just for the Ring of Honor shows, they always thought, oh, Jim Cornette, the Ring of Honor shows are bad. Jim Cornette's fault. Well, one night he was actually doing the booking, but people thought it was Nigel McGuinness doing it. So they're like, oh well, Nigel's doing it. It's going to be amazing. So people, that show, and I believe it was in Canada, people were like, oh my God, one of the best Ring of Honor shows of the year. Well, it turns out Jim Cornette was the one that was booking it. So it's all in the fans' minds where who's doing what. It's I think it's if you're putting somebody in charge, like I think maybe, I don't know who's in charge with TNA right now. I mean, I guess it's all behind the scenes stuff. I thought it was Vince Russo, you know, who was doing it lately. But,
well, his ties to TNA was not supposed to be revealed. Apparently it was revealed, and I guess supposedly according to the rumors, Spike they're not really big fans of Russo, and you know, if that's the case, then whatever. You know, I'm pretty sure they can pick up and move somewhere else. I'm pretty sure Dixie Carter and the Carter family and Panda Energy are not ready to fold and you know, close up their, you know, shop and move somewhere else. I mean, if they have to do that, they will. They'll find another place. You know, I'm pretty sure they'll be fine with that. But until it's officially announced we're leaving Spike, then let's just let it go, I guess.
TNA wasn't supposed to be, you know, in the beginning, they were not supposed to survive. You know, they weren't supposed to, you know, come out ahead. And they did. So I said it on Twitter a couple of days ago when they made the announcement. Well, when rumors, I guess, leaked. I mean, nothing's been official yet. That if TNA is going to survive, in the beginning stages, without a doubt, it's going to survive now if they want to go forward.
True. They've got they have a great roster, and I like the idea that people are making their companies different. They're not calling, So I really got a kick out of the idea that Booker made when he was on last week. That he doesn't call his girl wrestlers, he doesn't call them divas, he doesn't call them knockouts, he calls them diamonds. I really thought that was intriguing idea how to refer to his ladies division. And they had their show this past Saturday as well as Wildcat, and both came out extremely successful. I just had to mention that because that was, it was coincidental that we managed to get, two guys on promoting their respective shows, for the same day. And hopefully we can do it again sometime. Because I look forward to it, and I enjoyed speaking to both gentlemen. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
alrighty. I believe Mr. John Paul is calling in right now, so let me go ahead and bring him on. Hello,
hey,
Mr. John Paul. Are you there?
This evening? Oh, yes, sir. Sure am.
Doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Getting ready for a nice little 750-mile drive to Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's great. I know I keep on about to say NWA Mid-Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest, Charlotte, North Carolina. I know it's going to be a 4-day thing. Give us a little bit more information about it and how you can get tickets and what the fans are going to expect.
Oh, tickets are easy to get at NWA-MidAtlanticLegends.com. Also, as we all know, it's a 4-day event this year. What's capping off the whole event is actually Dr. Tom Pritchard is holding a 3-day seminar and clinic with over 30 hours of in-ring training with trainers such as Gerald Briscoe, Nigel McGuinness, Les Thatcher, and of course one of Austin's favorites, Lance Storm.
Love Lance Storm. I think Felix knows that.
Well, I thought you'd get a big kick out of that one.
And not only them, I mean, the guest appearances, I mean, for the photo ops and autograph signings are phenomenal. I mean, Ricky Steamboat, the Four Horsemen, excluding Ric Flair. Is Ric Flair going to be there? I didn't see him.
Ric Flair was a tentative. He wasn't able to give photo ops, but he might be able to pop in. We're also going to have Ox Baker, Gerald Briscoe, Jim Cornette, J.J. Dillon, Paul Jones, exactly. One of my favorites from back in the day, Magnum TA is going to be in the house, Paul Orndorff, also Pipebomb radio alumni, Lanny Poffo is going to be in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, one of my favorites.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Adrian Street and Miss Linda, Kevin Sullivan, the original Papa Shango, and we're going to have Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes will be in the house.
My God.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I do have Michael Elliot on the line on the phone. Would you guys be okay if I went ahead and brought him on?
Oh, please do.
Alrighty. Hello, Mr. Elliot. You're on the air with myself, Austin, and John Paul LeBlanc. He is going to Mid-Atlantic, as you've been listening, the Fan Fest. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing wonderful. I'm on Pipebomb Radio. I finally made it in the world of wrestling. I made it on the #1 show on the internet. So I'm glad to be here, guys.
Definitely. And you actually, Michael, you actually know a little bit about the NWA Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest as well. Are you going to be there?
Yes, I'm going to be there a couple of days. I actually live in the Charlotte area, so I've been to several of them. I think I've only missed 2 of the 10, so this will be the final one, and I'm definitely going to be there.
I will have to say that you would have to admit that Greg Price has outdone himself in this year by topping it all off with one of the hugest Hall of Heroes dinner and awards shows Friday evening. And some of the matches that he's bringing in for Saturday and Sunday are just laden with star power. You know, Rock and Roll Express, Hurricane Shane Helms is going to be in the house. Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards. Tessa Blanchard, the daughter of Tully Blanchard, who's being trained by George South Jr., and versus Chastity Taylor. And just, I mean, it's a list that goes on. Even New Orleans' own Luke Hawks will be in Charlotte taking on Greek Papadon. So I can't wait to represent New Orleans and the NWA by getting out there to your hometown, sir.
Oh, man, it's going to be an amazing 4 days, and it's definitely going to be a blast to get in it with a blast. So I'm excited to be there. It's 2 days away, and I'm counting down the hours right now. I feel I'm at the Hilton in Charlotte, hanging out with all the legends and all the cool fans, man. It's always a great time every time my fan fest rolls around.
Yes, sir. We're definitely going to have to meet up over that way. I'll be taking care of almost all of the photography photo op moments, doing the ringside paparazzi for the matches, and wandering around getting all the good coverage that I can for the con for my website. So I'm hoping to run into you, sir.
Yeah, I actually think I met you at the Mid-South Fan Fest down in New Orleans this year.
Oh, wow.
I was working at the hotspot. I was working at the hotspot table down there.
Unfortunately, that was the first and final Mid-South Legends Fan Fest too. That was a great evening.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed every second of that one as well. But if you've been to that one, if you come into this one, it's a huge difference in the way they were both presented. So this is definitely the top fan fest in the whole country here in Charlotte every year.
Yes, sir. Well, gentlemen, I am going to graciously bow out and allow Mr. Elliot his time. Mr. Felix, have a great afternoon out there on the West Coast. And I know I'm going to wind up seeing our esteemed colleague here pretty soon in Houma for the NWA Elite show coming up.
Yeah, August 10th, it's going to be happening. So thank you so much, John Paul, for calling in. Being representative tonight for the NWA Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. This coming, what's the date again? It's 4 days, right?
4 days. You're looking at Thursday, July 31st, all the way through Sunday, August the 3rd.
That's great. And you guys can get your tickets by going to NWAMidatlantic.com, fanfest.com.
Legends.com. And that'll take you to the Fan Fest information, hotel information, all that good stuff.
Thank you so much, John.
All right, fellas, y'all have a good night, sir. I'm about to hit on the road.
Safe travels.
Will do.
All righty, Mr. Elliot, we appreciate your coming on and even giving your insight on the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. And I was telling Austin, it really makes me wish I could live over there in that area, because it seems that a lot of the legend shows, the Fan Fests, the Mid-Atlantic meet and greet, what they're doing this weekend, is always over there. I would love to see some of the Fan Fests come over to the West Coast where I'm at, but maybe they're out there and I just don't know it. I don't know.
Pack up and move on over here to Charlotte.
There you go.
They're a great event. I go to several of them myself, and I love the interaction I have with all the legends, meet new people. That's what I like. That's what I like about it. So it's always great to get out to those kind of events.
Yeah, I know, because Felix is he would have the opportunity to go to these fan fests, but guess what? It scared him away. Those hurricanes. Get him out of Florida.
I lived in Florida. Give me a break.
I lived in Louisiana. Give me a break, man. Just kidding. I say
yes, but you're talking about a guy who's lived in California for the last 30 years, so
Mm-hmm. Well, no, actually, I think the closest thing to you is the Cauliflower Alley. Every single year in the Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to try to go. Have you actually gone to the Cauliflower Alley, Mr. Elliot?
No, I haven't. I don't get to travel out to the west side of the States very often, but it's definitely something I'd love to go to in the future, but I hear nothing but great things about it.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to kick things off and start to get to know exactly what it is that you've done in your with this whole deal that you've got going right now, and ask what gave you the idea to create this production studio, I guess you could call it, that you've done, creating several documentaries. Most recent, as we were just talking about before you came on, about the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, what gave you the idea to want to pursue something like that? I mean, obviously you're a fan of professional wrestling. Was that more of a reason, or was there more to it?
Oh, well, the studio you talk about is my spare bedroom in my house.
Hey, a studio's a studio.
So I've got a bed and a computer, so if I get tired, I can lay down and take a break. You know, my day job, which I just got off from work, I work for a television station in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I do video production every day of my life. I've been doing it for the last 10 years. Did it before I got into the television business. It's just something that I do. It's something that I love to do. It's a passion that I have. And instead of getting into the wrestling business and, you know, trying to be a wrestler, I was like, you know, I'll just try to take my talent with TV and production and maybe try to do something with wrestling that way. And speaking of the Fan Fest, that's where it really all started for me, was in 2009. I met the Boogie Woogie man, Jimmy Valiant. Yes, Jimmy Valiant to some people. And we just kind of became friends. Yeah, Woogie man, feel good. But anyway, we became good friends. And I just said, hey, Jimmy, let me tell your story. Let me try to tell your story. Not never doing a documentary before, not knowing how it was going to turn out or how I was going to produce it, but you know, it all came together and it turned out to be Woo Mercy, the Jimmy Valiant experience, and things have just grown since that first documentary and they're continuing on to doing it.
That's phenomenal, you know. And people that actually, you know, want to go see, you know, actually buy your documentaries can go to Elbow Productions. That's 2 L's. It's ELLBOW. ElbowProductions.weebly.com. And you not only do you have the Rock and Roll Express documentary, I mean, you have, a number of different ones you've made in the past, and I believe 2 award-winning documentaries, including the Jimmy Valiant one, and also what was the other one? I think it was I can't remember the other one. Yeah, Jim Crockett.
The Jim Crockett Promotions documentary was voted DVD of the year last year from the Wrestling Observer, which is a huge honor. I've been told, you know, that's the #1 newsletter out there. I don't read those things, but I was told that was a huge honor. We were the first independent wrestling documentary to beat WWE out in the 9-year history of that category. So I mean, that was just huge in itself, beating, you know, this machine that WWE is with just me and the guy producing something in a bedroom in the Carolinas.
Well, trust me, I'm going to tell you this. Without a doubt, I'm not even kidding you. When I say that what you do is phenomenal, it's phenomenally amazing. Reason being that everybody thinks in this world that WWE is the only guys in town who can make a really nice documentary and, you know, set actually, you know, the actual set of the DVD, the design and everything looks amazing. They always think, you know, those are the only people that can do it. And I'm not dishing WWE because I love the documentaries, you know, most of them that they make. But the ones you made, like all of them, every single one of them have came out so perfect. Especially the most recent one, the Rock and Roll Express, Rock and Roll Never Dies, a DVD, the 3-disc set. I mean, entire packaging for it, from the documentary to everything about it, was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to be WWE. We're trying to be ourselves, but you know, we're just showing people that there's stories out there that aren't going to get told because it's not what WWE wants you to hear. It's not a story WWE wants to tell. And there's hundreds of thousands probably stories out there that could be told and should be told, and you know, we're just doing what we can, and we're doing them one at a time. And who knows how long we'll continue? It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of money and time away from your family, etc., to do these things. But you know, it's what we enjoy doing, and it's something that we're going to try to continue on and moving ahead and continue to doing.
You know, actually, I wanted to ask, too, and this is opinion for both of you guys. I know, Mr. Elliot, with you doing as many documentaries as you've done, now, an idea that kind of came up when I was wondering, what do you think about it? Is what would you think about doing a documentary on the Powerful family from right before Randy went over to WWE, when Angelo was still running the territory, and I believe it was the ICW, and during those times, and talking about those times back then, before obviously WWE got claimed to that territory, unless Angelo sold it to WWE, which in that case then it may not work.
Yeah, actually, that was an idea that was on my list for a while. The footage, the ICW footage, is owned by a gentleman that isn't named McMahon, so it's easy to license. It was on a list I had, and I've edited a video for it. If you're all friends with me on Facebook, you can probably find it on there somewhere.
Okay.
I'd love to do it. I mean, I think it's a great story to tell, and it would showcase Randy Savage before he was. Well, he's always been a macho man, but it would just show you that he was nuts before he went there.
There you go.
and speaking of stories,
go ahead. Are you talking to me or are you talking to him?
Yeah, no,
go ahead and make your point, Austin. It's okay. Go ahead.
You were talking. But I was going to say, speaking of stories, the most recent documentary actually coming out very soon, I think, is the new Harley race documentary.
Yeah, it's going to be for sale. It's going to be debuting at the latest Fan Fest there in Charlotte. Harley will be there Friday and Saturday signing autographs. If you buy it there, he'll autograph it for free. And, so that's going to be coming out pretty soon, next few days. So we actually produced 2 this year. We've been doing one a year, and this year we kind of stepped it up and did 2 high spots. I do some freelance work for highspots.com, and they paid me to produce that for them. So it was kind of an easier route to getting Harley's story out there. And Harley deserves it. I mean, he's 8-time NWA World Champion, and a lot of people from this generation probably don't know much about him. So I was very glad to be able to bring Harley's story to life in a documentary format.
I mean, Harley was one. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it's a 2-disc set with bonus matches and bonus stories and all kinds of etc. stuff. So you're not just getting a documentary, you're getting 2 discs out of that documentary.
And Harley wasn't just an awesome wrestler and just one of the most iconic figures in professional wrestling history, but he was also one of the most toughest. Tough people in this world.
Yeah, he talks about he didn't want to brag about how tough he was when we were interviewing him. We'd say, tell us some stories, and he said, well, there's nothing to really tell as long as you walked out of the ring or out of the bar, standing up straight. And he wouldn't brag about it. A lot of the other guys, told some stories about Harley, and he's definitely one of the legitimate badasses from wrestling. And he's one of the last guys to come through the carnival circuit, so he had to really know how to protect himself and how to protect wrestling back then.
The one that I am intrigued about, and I didn't even realize it because I had seen some type of video footage that you had made for it, was the Jim Crockett one, because that one, WWE really kind of just barely tipped the iceberg. I mean, it didn't even really go into too much about the company, Jim Crockett Promotions, too much, in my opinion. I mean, they're going to tell their portion of the story and save the rest for another day if somebody else want to do it. That one is the one I would love to take a look at because I want to get familiar with what it was like back then. And, I mean, before they were even labeled WCW. This was Jim Crockett Promotions, I would love to learn more about that. You have that on your website?
That's on Highspot's website. You can get that through them. Yeah. Like I said, I do a little bit of freelance work for those guys, and when they pay me to do something that's their product, I just produce it. It's my baby, but it's theirs. And that one and the Harley Race documentary are Highspot's products. But WWE's sitting on a gold mine with all that Jim Crockett stuff, and that's blowing my mind. They haven't done anything with it all these years. So definitely go check that one out. It's called Jim Crockett, The Good Old Days.
And then interviewing the Boogie Woogie Man.
Yeah.
You were talking about that, and he has this book out that he's been talking about. I mean, what kind of man? I mean, was he intimidating to meet for the very first time? I mean, did he have really a lot of great stories to tell? I mean, what was it like meeting him for the very first time?
Well, if you ever seen the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant on TV, you think this guy is loud, he's nuts, he's crazy, he's going to scream and holler. But when you meet Jimmy, he is so laid back. He is the nicest guy I've ever met in professional wrestling, and he's so calm and cool. And he doesn't make you feel intimidated at all. He just shakes your hand, says, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" And he's the nicest guy I've ever met. So no, there was no intimidation. Only intimidation was how am I going to tell this story? How am I going to make this work? Because I'd never done it before, and since he was kind of the test subject, so to speak.
And Jimmy actually has his little wrestling school up in I think it's Virginia, right?
Yes, sir. He's in Christiansburg, Virginia, right near Virginia Tech University. He's been there for 20 years now, and I was very honored. He and his wife Angel asked me to be an honorary member of his Hall of Fame up there, and went up there last year and gave me a little award, and it was a very cool experience to have someone that you look up to and idolize, want to honor you for what you've done for them. So it was really neat, and I'll always have a special place in my heart for Jimmy Valiant.
You know,
and he's
one thing that WWE will probably never, ever, ever. Well, you know what though? They do say never, but in my opinion, I really don't think it'll ever happen. And you actually made it happen. Was the history and tradition, the story of the National Wrestling Alliance?
Uh-huh.
I can't even imagine how much fun that was to work on, and all the great interviews you got to do. I mean, what was it? You know, what gave you the idea to want to do that? Was that more or less what I just said, or was it other reasons that you wanted to pursue it? I mean, NWA is going to be around for years to come. I really do believe that. But
well, I was actually at home laying on the couch watching the WWE DVD called The History of the World Heavyweight Title, and I was watching it, and I think it kind of got to the part where it just kind of swayed towards WCW and WWE, and then I was thinking, like, man, the NWA is still out there. The 10 pounds of gold belt is still out there. It's still being defended.
Yeah.
I want to go find out where this belt's at. And that's what I did. You know, we tracked down the champion at the time, who was Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and we just pursued it from there. And it was just interesting. It was interesting to me, and I'm just glad that other people thought it was just as interesting. And that was a fun documentary to produce, getting to go around and hang out with, you know, a lot of the current NWA guys at that time. But since then, you know, leadership was changed in the NWA.
And you guys, you didn't just cover for WCW, the WCW parts of the NWA National Wrestling Alliance. You know, you really went deep into the history of it.
Yeah, we wanted to be as thorough as we could and try to uncover things that I didn't see in the WWE version of it. So it was kind of a remake of theirs, but, you know, we kind of introduced people to NWA World Champions like the Colorado Kid, Mike Rapata, and, you know, guys like Sabu and Steve Corino, and obviously Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana that people probably didn't know, unless they're hardcore fans like we are that knew all that stuff already. But it was something to introduce the new fans to what the old fans knew about and what they were kind of seeing for the first time these days.
Nice. And, you know, do you have any prospect as far as documentaries coming up that you're thinking about working on or are in the process of working on and should be finished very soon? Anything upcoming at the moment, or was that the most recent one? Was the Rock and Roll Express one? Is that correct?
Yeah, and then we'll have the Harley Race one coming out in 2 days. 2 days of Fan Fest will be available, and then I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm always trying to work on something. Always trying to find the next person that wants to have their story told, you know, professionally and done right. And a couple of years ago, we started on an Ivan Koloff documentary, and it got
awesome.
It got put on the back burner, and now I'm kind of thinking about bringing that back to the forefront and finishing that one. And I'm talking to the guys with the BWO, the Blue World Order.
Nice.
Trying to maybe do something with them, and I just found out last week that Tommy Dreamer is a fan of my work, and I'm actually going to see him Friday at the Fan Fest and introduce myself and see what he's thinking. Maybe we'll sit down and do something with him, hopefully in the future.
And one person I think would be really intriguing to do with a documentary on is the Blackjack.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that.
Blackjack
Mulligan, Blackjack Alonzo.
Yeah, he's actually going to be our guest next week on Pipebomb Radio, Blackjack Mulligan. And he's been a guest, numerous times because we love to have him on because if you go back, Michael, past episodes and hear the interviews, Blackjack Mulligan can talk. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm a fan of Blackjack Mulligan, and he's a huge part of the Jim Crockett documentary. As people, fans of Jim Crockett Promotions know, he was brought in when Johnny Valentine broke his back in a plane crash, and he became the star for Jim Crockett Promotions at the time. And I've talked to him on the phone about an interview before. I'll just say it was financially not beneficial for me to pursue that. Just so if you get what I'm saying.
One name that also came to mind too was for for Joe Blanchard. For the working in the
Southwest.
What's that?
Yeah, Southwest Championship Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
So that's another story idea that I've had out there. Just because when I look for a project, I look for a project that will never get told, and as long as there's footage and people that can still tell a story, that's something that interests me, and that's something that I think would be very interesting, especially if Tully Blanchard would get on board and really open up about it.
Oh yeah.
So,
no doubt about that.
Tons of stories out there.
I agree with that, and it doesn't necessarily have to cater to just what And I'm not mocking or anything saying bad about WWE because their documentaries are awesome. A lot of them are really good. However, they don't give every story. They don't, and that's the sad part because a lot of us really want to know more in-depth looks at these superstars when they were in different eras and different companies and about the men and women themselves. Another one would have been another great idea would have been another one of our former guests would have been Susan Green. She is still around. She's still kicking butt. She's one of the toughest women I think I've ever heard stories about, and definitely in the ring, without a doubt, one of the toughest women in wrestling. Because she was way back in wrestling during the, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Austin. Was it the 70s and 80s, or was it the 60s and 70s?
No, you're right. 70s and 80s time, and she's actually a NWA Hall of Famer, and she's been around. She's trained by the Fabulous Moolah and really got into it at a young age. I believe in her teen years, like 15, 16 years old, going to the shows and eventually being introduced to the Fabulous Moolah and getting to professional wrestling. And she's made a career out of doing that. But she was one of those girl wrestlers that didn't show off her body. She was all about wrestling. She's actually in the. Remember what's the name of her gym now? She trains wrestlers there called the Gym of Pain and Glory, I think, in I think it's actually North Carolina, I believe, North or South Carolina, that she does.
I think it's South. I could be wrong though. But
yeah, she's
definitely an awesome person. And Mr. Elliot, I wanted to ask you: besides your website, I believe you said you had a Facebook. Do you have other forms of social media that you let people keep up with what you've been doing?
I'm usually just on Facebook. I have a Twitter account, but I don't really know how to tweet work it that well. So,
understood.
I'm out there on Twitter, but I still get used to that. But I'm usually just on Facebook. You can look me up. I usually accept everybody. I'm not prejudiced. So that's how we're out there spreading the word. Is just we usually use Kickstarter if High Spots doesn't want to get involved. I think that's another aspect that people don't understand about producing something is it takes money to pay these guys and travel and produce the end product. And without Kickstarter, the Rock and Roll documentary would have never came out. It wouldn't have had the 3 discs, the nice packaging that you see when you get it. But, if we were our video or High Spots, we probably wouldn't be going through Kickstarter. But being just a one-man show, it's kind of tough to financially pay for these things. So that's kind of what we're doing. And, it's something we love to do, and we hope to continue doing it, man.
Great.
And for those who want to keep up with his current, like Austin was mentioning, his documentaries he's done, check out elbowproductions.weebly.com. Sorry, Austin, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I told Michael this earlier, that he needs to give himself more credit than he does, because he's doing something that majority of people in the circuit will never actually go out and do. I mean, being a producer for awesome, amazing, phenomenal, and twice there, wrestling documentaries, it's so great. I mean, to be able to do that, to be able to have all the connections you have in order to make these what they are, I mean, it really is cool.
Well, I appreciate that. I just had a guy today that just contacted me to see if I could help him try to put together a Bruiser Brody documentary, and I was like, I'll do whatever I can to help you. It's something I think people would be very happy to see produced, and if you need any help, just let me know, and I kind of pointed them in the right direction. So hopefully, that'll take off, and I think that's something that people have been dying to see for a long, long time.
Oh yeah,
not a doubt.
And maybe if it falls through with him, and I can get the financial backing, maybe I would do it. But I've got a couple other things lined up right now.
I don't think that would be hard to do. I'll be very honest, because I know that Bruiser Brody still has, he, after all these years, and without no shock value really, Bruiser Brody really does still have a following. He stands the test of time for his character, for the kind of man he was, and I really believe, like you said, people really want to know about him, learn about who he was, what he did during his time in professional wrestling, the blood wars that he had with one that comes to mind, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of them. I mean, him and Stan Hansen as a tag team in Japan were just...
Yes.
The people were afraid of those guys. They thought they were monsters. So it's a great story, and as long as they don't focus just on the end of his life and focus about everything else, I think it'd be a great production if somebody would get that put together. One guy I'd like to work with, and I actually got to work with him on the Harley story, was Terry Funk. I'd love to put a Terry Funk documentary. I'd love to do that. I'm going to hopefully be talking with him soon. So, it'll maybe take 4 or 5 years to put all these out there. We'll hopefully get them done.
Yeah. Keep it up, man. You're doing some great work, and I'm looking forward to purchasing some of your documentaries to check them out, because I definitely want to learn more about some of the people that, well, let's just say that did better when they were not in WWE. Their careers were a lot more successful than they could have been in WWE, because at this point, well, let's just leave it at that. Like the Rock and Roll Express, I'll give you that example. That's one I would definitely like to learn more about. I watched them growing up as a kid, and although they did spend time in WWE for a very, very short time at that, I always wondered whatever happened to them, and to learn more about them and growing up, being in the business and so forth. I think that'd be a very interesting story, and I look forward to watching it. And I'm almost positive. I think Austin's already seen it. Could I be wrong, Austin?
Which one are you talking about? The Rock and Roll Express one?
That's the one.
Yes, I have. And you actually, Stone Cold Steve Austin actually, did he review it yet? Because I remember you saying or mentioning something on Twitter or Facebook that he actually going to review your DVD for the Rock and Roll Express, but Never Dies one.
Yeah, he's received the last 2 documentaries that I've done, and he actually watched the Rock and Roll Express documentaries and tweeted me back. I didn't know if he ever would, but I just said, hey, I hope you enjoy it. Rick and Robert are excited that you got it. They hope you enjoy it too. And he tweeted me back saying he thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's can't get much better endorsement than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right.
Probably
oh hell yeah,
one of the biggest. So it was exciting to see that kind of stuff. He talked about it on his podcast a little bit. So it's always cool to I'm a nobody. I'm just some guy from Carolina.
No, you're not.
Have a wrestling legend.
No, you're not,
about
man.
you.
That'll make this point, Austin.
No.
It's cool, man.
No, you're not a nobody. If you were a nobody, you wouldn't be doing some of the stuff. I mean, I'm sure that the Rock and Roll Express.
He's a humble man. He appreciates the success, but he's not going to sit there and be like he's not going to blow his own horn, and he's proud of what he's done, I'm sure, and definitely would love to do more. Keep on doing more, and I respect that. Sky's the limit. You definitely can keep doing some more documentaries of some of the biggest names out there, and there's going to be a fan base that's going to want to keep buying them, and maybe you can work out something with either Cauliflower or even the Fan Fest. And like you said, I think you said that you mentioned this about the Harley one, that those DVDs can start being sold there at the Fan Fest. They'll definitely pick up and start buying some. I'm almost positive.
Oh yeah, well they'll be for sale there. Ricky and Robert will be there at this Fan Fest all 4 days, and they'll have it for sale. And, I've got to work out with them where it's beneficial for everybody. So, I feel like more people will come up to a table to see them than it will me. So I'd rather have them, be in the marketing tool right now, so to speak.
All right. Austin, any final questions for Mr. Elliot?
That's it for me. I just want to thank you so much for actually, taking your time out of your so many hours of the day to actually put on these amazing documentaries. And I keep on saying, reiterating, the words amazing, phenomenal, so many different synonyms I can go around with this. But I mean, you're amazingly phenomenal what you do.
Well, you have a fan in Austin there, Mr. Elliot.
Hey, I appreciate every kind word you just said.
No problem.
And remember, folks, to check out elbowproductions.weebly.com for all his updated documentaries and future ones to come. On behalf of Austin and myself, Mr. Elliot, we thank you for taking time to coming on. I know it's to come on and chat with us about what it is you do, your passion for what you've been doing. I know it is late over there on the East Coast. We won't keep you on very much longer here, so we wish you a great night. And, again, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, have a good night, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Two great storytellers one night. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Did that
but I
just
know,
happen?
Yes, but I know, Michael Elliott and John Paul, two amazing people. But next weekend on Pipebomb Radio, Blackjack Mulligan returns. The Gunslinger comes back into town on Pipebomb Radio City. Or is it the town and city are the same things, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, we'll use that. The Gunslinger's coming back.
He's coming back, folks. You better watch yourself because the Blackjacks don't play nice. And in this case, Blackjack Mulligan, he if you guys never watched him in the ring, definitely recommend watching him. This dude was a bad man, and he did it well. He did it probably better than most.
Yeah, he was too good at being bad.
If you follow him on Facebook, you know what? He's an amazing guy. He's very, he loves his religion. He loves his fans. He's forever grateful for what wrestling gave to him, and he watches with pride as his legacy continues. Not only in his sons, as they were definitely professional wrestlers, his son-in-law, also Mike Rotundo, but also his grandchildren who are now current wrestling superstars, Bray Wyatt and the Believer himself, Bo Dallas.
Yes. Finally, you said it.
I know Austin is just chomping at the bit to get Blackjack back on here, so he can definitely pick his brain more. And we're just grateful that he gave us the time to allow us into his brain for maybe 30 minutes, an hour, however long we take, just to get some more stories. Because the man's had over 30 years in the business, and the legacy is even continued to like I said, to today. But I wanted to throw in also, we wanted to thank John Paul to come on and just to let him know that we'll let you guys know that Four Corners Photography will be handing out Pipebomb Radio flyers at the Mid-Atlantic. See, I'm already screwing it up. Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest over in Charlotte, North Carolina. Check us out. All of our social media is on the flyer. He has been such a huge supporter and very good friend, and definitely helped us out in many, many ways to get the name out there for all around the South. They know us well. Never met us, but they know us. But we thank John Paul for all the work he's done for us and coming on, and just kind of, he really set the mood for the who's going to be there. He really made it Like, damn, why am I not there? Why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
Or as Michael said, Mr. Elliot, he says, well, then just pack up and move your ass on down here. He didn't say it like that, but move down here.
Yeah, I know. You with the food baskets over there in California, you know, in the with the orange people, and we're over here with the hurricane. You know, during we're in midst of hurricane season. But we have a huge fan fest here in North Carolina that I'm not going to be at, sadly, because I'm not privileged as John Paul is. I mean, he goes around everywhere. I mean, that guy he is a maniac. Let me tell you this, he is a maniac.
Well, it's like I told him too. When you have
levels.
a passion for something, like he does, there isn't anything he wouldn't do to just be part of it. You know, he's proud of what he does and the shows, and you know, good for him. You know, you got to experience a lot of his travel as well. Yes, he does. I look forward to that, and also, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one guy definitely that is going to be there. I mean, and I know there's so many people I can mention. But my all-time in my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, Ricky Steamboat is in there in my top 5. He is going to be there as well at the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest. And I know there's a ton of people who are fans of Ricky Steamboat, and not just him. I mean, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Paul Jones, and Rocky Johnson. That's all I can remember. I know there's so many people going to be there. I'm going to see if I can find a website. But that's all the ones I can tell you off the top of my head.
No, there's a lot. I mean, he gave you the website to check it out for hotel information for who's going to be there. A lot of the great legends from that area are going to be there. And for those, you know what, I've one way or another, come hell or high water, I will be at Cauliflower Alley. If it's not next year, it'll definitely be the year after. But I'm going. I want to be there. I want to check it out. You know, after seeing the great success that well, I don't know, what would you call the guy? Well, you know what, our friends at IHWE, David and Michael was out there in Vegas and got to experience a lot of great, you know, people and talk with them and get to know about them, and also bring them on the phone for the show.
Oh, you know, speaking of IHWE, tomorrow night, I mean, it's a huge night on IHWE. David Fuller, the owner of IHWE, will actually be stepping down from the co-hosting position of the show to focus on other things involving IHWE. And somebody will be actually taking his place. I have no clue who that's going to be, but it's probably going to be, you know, a really a nice person with amazing hair and, I mean, so many great, you know, features and everything. I mean, I'd probably say, I mean, I would think that, at least, you know.
Oh, yeah? You don't say, huh? Well, I would just say, folks, tune into their show tomorrow. You know, those guys always put on great shows. I really enjoyed the Terry Gordy one they did just a couple of weeks ago. Ted DiBiase Sr. and Jim Cornette and Terry Gordy, Mrs. Gordy. Terry Gordy's wife was there as well. And it was a great show. I mean, did they already do the one with Bruiser Brody? I'm not sure if I missed that one.
Yeah, that was actually a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and their next big you know, reunion show, I guess you can say, or tribute show is actually a Glow tribute show, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Nice.
You know, having a huge show with them, all, you know, the past people there in a couple of weeks. Which, you know, I actually believe we tried to do that as well. Didn't we try to do that a couple months ago, and we didn't get all the pieces together? So that we were planning to do something with them.
Well, no, I mean, I'd been in contact with Little Egypt, and actually have been in contact with her just recently too, and she might be making a rare appearance on Pipebomb Radio in the very, very near future. Stay tuned for that. Not going to reveal any dates yet because we're still nailing out the details. So, yeah, any fans of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling from the 1980s, stay tuned. You're definitely going to be entertained with that.
I can just tell you this. This coming, I mean, the whole entire, rest of the half of the year on Pipebomb Radio is going to be unlike anything that we've done before. I mean, on all cylinders. I mean, we're really just firing it up. I mean, we have so many shows that we offer. I mean, from Pro Wrestling Historical Society this coming Sunday night. They're returning, I believe. Then they have The Amazing. I love the show. For Thursday nights, Matthew Mama's radio show with Oscar and Mo. I haven't got word what the guests are, who's going to be the guest star, this coming week. But Friday Night Warfare with me, Austin James, and Matt Nelson, talking about the week of wrestling from everything that's been happening on Raw, SmackDown, NXT main event, TNA Explosion, TNA Impact, SmackDown Glory, Ring of Honor. We're talking about it all.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy week once again. With SummerSlam right around the corner, you can just imagine what Austin and Matt have to say. If you missed their debut show from last Friday, it is available in our archives and should be available shortly. If not by now, should be available very soon on our YouTube channel as well.
And supposedly Matt Nelson actually told me at the beginning of the show that we were actually trending worldwide, man. I doubt it, but no, suppose that's what he said. He's trending. He always says he's trending worldwide. I'm talking to him on the phone. Early in the morning, he's like, Austin, man, I'm trending worldwide on Twitter. I'm like, I know. I wonder how you did that. That's amazing. That's him. He thinks he's always trending worldwide. He must have magical power.
I guess so. Well, good for him. You guys should probably have a lot of fun on Friday. Stay tuned for information as far as Thursday's guests go. As far as Sundays go, you know what? Let's just say Jimmy has definitely been missed. If you haven't already heard, Greg is always telling him how much he misses that Limey, and those were his words, not mine.
I know. I love Jimmy's voice.
Jimmy is a character. He's definitely missed. We're in the meantime, I know that you guys will be entertained with Greg and Terry, two great guys, two great historians themselves, to talk about upcoming events for them. They've got upcoming guests coming soon as well, and continue talking about their website that continues to get better and better if you guys haven't checked it out. Austin is definitely a writer on the website. Sorry?
So speaking of Pro Wrestling Historical Society, Terry Kent of the Pipebomb Radio Network will actually be on hand at the NWA Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe. I think it's a 4-day thing. And he's actually going to be there. And I think he actually wants to arrange for anybody that wants to do it, actually a lunch thing, for all the fans of Pro Wrestling Historical Society kind of get together before the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest and kind of talk about, wrestling history and everything. So it should be fun. If you guys want to get in contact with him about that, if you're going to be in the area, this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, make sure you shoot him a message or something.
Something like that. But, I had a lot of fun. I enjoy learning about people who do documentaries and especially the ones that they're so hard to find because they just don't ever get the attention they deserve. And, it's like you said, WWE's got such a huge, huge library. Now, I'm not sure if that's something that they're going to plan on doing for the future or not, but with all that footage, why not create something for the older fans, or just the historian fans, if you will, and just let them relive those great moments? Because you know what, the whole world didn't revolve around WWE, and I'm not bashing them, but it's true. Back then there were other companies that were, they were killing it. Why not give them that? Give them something. But, I'm glad that there's other people that are doing documentaries for those purposes, to educate the wrestling fans on just who these people were and for the fact that they paved the way for a lot of the stars today. Without the Boogie Woogie Man, do you think we'd actually be seeing Fandango or a Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah.
Just to name a few. I'm just giving you, as flamboyant as Jimmy Valiant was, I don't even know if flamboyant is a good word, but he was definitely a character that he's an unforgettable character. Let's just put it that way. But great show tonight, and going to be an even better show next Tuesday night as we welcome back the legendary Blackjack Mulligan. Such an amazing storyteller. And a great friend. We can't lie, he is a great friend to both of us, and we're very grateful that he's honored to giving us the opportunity to bring him back. August is coming up, folks, and we're going to be wrapping up the summer in a pretty big way. If all the stars align, I think it will. So stay tuned for that as we continue on to finish this summertime and move on to the winter, the fall, whatever you want to call it. If there's nothing further from Austin, any final thoughts?
Yeah, well, besides that, only one more thing. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Like us on Facebook. If you want to do that, it's Pipebomb Radio for Facebook, Pipebomb_radio for Twitter, Pipebomb_ radio for Instagram, or is it just Pipebomb Radio? I'm not sure. Just type in Pipebomb Radio on either one, you'll find us for sure. And make sure to check out our website, pipebombradio.weebly.com. All of our past episodes, and from Tuesday nights to Thursday nights to Friday Night Warfare to Nacho Radio Show to Pro Wrestling Historical Society. Everything's on there and so much more.
Well, there you go. All of our great social media. And if you're on iTunes, definitely check us out. Give us a rating. Subscribe to us. It's free. Got nothing wrong with free. Free's always good. But since that'll be it, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here for tonight. The party continues on later this week. But on behalf of Austin and myself for Pipebomb Radio, this is Felix saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody. Good night, Austin.
Good night, man.